A lot of women are navigating through dating and relationships, focusing on making sure he loves them more than she loves him. But I need to make it clear to you, once and for all, that this is horrible advice. This is a setup for disaster. And I'm going to explain why. Because I'm not going to just tell you don't do it just to not do it. No. When you really start to dig deep into this dynamic, you will see why you should not be focused on a man who loves you more. Let me start with a story. I know of a woman, through coaching her, where she was having struggles with dating. And one of her previous relationships was a man who she was really into, all right, and felt she was in love with. And she was really giving herself to this man and trying so hard to make it work, but he was just on some foolishness, all right? He was lying about a lot of different things. He wasn't completely treating her the way that she wanted or needed or deserved to be treated, all right? He had his good moments, as many men do, many people do. But in the totality of the relationship, he was not the man she needed him to be. And of course, by the time this finally came to an end, because he took it to an extent of cheating and just doing things that she could not forgive. And to be honest with you, it was multiple times that he cheated. She finally let go, but of course she was hurt by that. All right, devastated. And in that, this is where she received the advice actually from an aunt of hers that, you need to just look for a man who loves you more than you love him. And so she set out to do that. And she did it, okay? She eventually, I want to say maybe after a year, it wasn't completely right away, but after like a year, she took some time to herself for a little bit, but then she meets a guy, and she knew she wasn't really into the guy. But there was some nice qualities about him. He was good looking. She liked him, but she wasn't really into him like that. But he was infatuated with her. He was head over heels. He wanted this woman, and he was doing everything he could to be with her. And so for her, focusing on finding that man who loves you more, found, quote unquote, I have to put a quote unquote on there, comfort, and I'm going to now use the word false security. It felt like security to her at that time, but I'm going to explain why it was false security. She found this false security in this relationship and thought, okay, we could be good. So she gets with him. They get an official relationship. And again, for the beginning of it, he was busting his behind, doing all that he could. But eventually, that started to fade away. And at one point, he started to feel like she wasn't giving to him what he needed. Anyways, fast forward, in this woman's mind, I am of, even though she didn't verbalize it to him, when we spoke about it, it came out where she really felt like, he's lucky I'm with him. This is really not the type of guy I would typically choose, but, I'm giving him an opportunity and I feel like he's not appreciating it anymore. He was trying so hard in the beginning, but now it's not there. But one of the reasons she also got with him is the idea that because she thought he should feel lucky that she's even with him, that this man ain't gonna cheat on her. He's not gonna get anything as good as her anywhere else. Well, lo and behold, he cheated. And I don't mean to smile because it's not a funny or good situation. It's just sometimes I smile because it's just, I don't know what else to do in some moments. But he cheated, things went left, and let's add a little bit more to the story. Now, let me tell you more to the story. Because he cheated, and it was almost like, how could he cheat on me? And how could he cheat on me with her? It became a battle where it's almost like the tables got turned. Now she's fighting for him, and in essence now is putting him essentially on a pedestal because simply her pride is hurt. And she's battling with this other woman. Lo and behold, as time goes on, it all falls apart. It ends. It doesn't work out. But I had to explain that because now we can dissect all the things that typically go wrong with trying to be with a man who loves you more than you love him. And the first thing is, if you actually try to do that, then you are more than likely going to date down. Think about it. For you to get with a man who loves you more than you love him, so that means you have to be able to even in some way quantify in your head that he has stronger feelings for you, which essentially means you don't really have very strong, deep feelings for him. Because if you did, you wouldn't be able to say who loves who more. So when you can do that, or to even be able to achieve that, you either consciously or subconsciously will have to choose a man who is, I hate using this word, but just work with me, beneath you. All right. It's not to mean this isn't a great guy. He may be perfect for someone else, but he's not really either of your caliber or simply does not pull out of you real love and vulnerability. And so there are a lot of women, not just dating men like this, even married to men like this. And some may convince themselves that they can handle this. Well, no one's perfect. He's still a nice guy. I can make it work. I can grow to love him. Now I'm laughing at that one because that's another one I hate. I hate that this idea of growing to love them. If you even have to tell yourself, well, I will grow to love him, again, that says you are not in love with him. You're not actually there. You're hoping for things to magically work out later. And even if you want to believe that you could grow to love someone, then wait till it's actually grown before you get into an official relationship with them. All right? To do it, hoping that it happens within the process of being with them is a huge mistake. And not to deviate too far from the main topic, but one of the reasons it's a huge mistake is what happens to many women in the attempt to grow to love him is that you become more attached to him. It could be kids. It could be simply you spent all these years pouring into this relationship. Even if you weren't pouring your all, you were still giving pieces of you to him. All right. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Relationships are the key to a successful life. But there's 5 areas that we have to be mindful of when it comes to relationships. There's relationship with God, relationship with ourselves, relationship with family and friends,